Okay, this time I double triple checked if I was in focus. Hi, and welcome to another episode of Wild and Woke Wednesdays with me, Rosemary Fajardo, where I talk about really profound experiences. I feel like every week I change the description of this series, but in a nutshell, I talk about experiences that really had a big impact for me within the past week or within the past 2 weeks, depending on when the last episode was. And this week, I really wanted to talk about my house clearing. And oh my gosh, I used to think that house clearing / house blessing / blah, blah, blah were done by just priests. And I am not a religious person, or I became a person who wasn't religious because I did grow up Catholic or Christian. I still don't know. I should probably ask my mom. But there was that kind of bitterness because eventually I turned agnostic and I told my mom I didn't believe in God and yada, yada, yada. So the thought of having a house blessing or a house clearing was like, no, I'm not going to do that. But my amazing friend Kim, her passion is to work with buildings. Her passion is to work with homes in an energetic sense. And she's also a realtor. And I just want to help her with her passion. And I just love that her eyes spark up whenever she talks about this. And so she did a home clearing for me 2 days ago. And it was really a beautiful experience. And I just wanted to share how the journey was, because she was actually here for 5 hours and I was not expecting her to be here for 5 hours since I thought it only would take like an hour. But it was it was cool. This building that I live in was actually built in 2018, so last year. So I know that the previous building got burned down because I saw the whole breakdown and buildup of this process since I also already lived in this neighborhood. But I intuitively knew that I feel like there is something still here, like energetic residue. And I had asked Paulo, I was like, oh, I wonder if there's still any lingering things here. And he said, oh, and the fire probably, cleared it and released it. But I was like, I feel like there's something still here. So Kim actually told me that there is a sense of sadness still on this land, still on this building. And it's actually a very powerful land because there was a vortex in my kitchen. And every time she walked through it, she would get dizzy because she's very sensitive to energy. And so one of the things she did was close that vortex. And it necessarily wasn't a negative vortex, but she let me know that it could have been something that could have been draining me over some time. Anyways, back up. So she got here and she stayed outside for a little bit to start the process. And while she was out there, she told me to set my intention for this space. And I sat on my beanbag, which I realized should be my meditative beanbag because it was really comfortable. And so she came in. She set down all of her stuff. She had a bunch of cool, I don't know, they're not gadgets, but cool tools that I've never seen before. And it was really cool because she brought some of them from India when she went there. So definitely authentic. But I have my notes just in case I missed something. First things first, she told me to put those tea light candles. She gave me a white and a black one, and she told me put them wherever you feel like putting them. So I put one in my crystal corner that's related to love and relationships, the white one. And then I actually just got an amethyst candle holder, so I put the black one in there. And then she lit this giant incense, probably this big, and it was super thick. And she went around, she just went through everything. And she started off in my kitchen first, came into my main room, excuse me, oh my god, that burp. And then she went into my bathroom. And this is a small space. This is 429 square feet. That's why I was really surprised she was here for 5 hours. But then the entire process only took an hour and a half. but she wanted to hang out and release some other things, which we'll talk about later. But then she also put salt in my corners, which ironically, I already have pieces of selenite, which is used to cleanse energy. I already put pieces of selenite in my corners to help keep that cleansed space. And she literally put salt on every single corner that I already had selenite in. So I was like, good job, me. I knew where to put stuff. And then she put it in her doorways too, so that kind of acts as a barrier for nothing negative, or not negative, but just to make sure that everything that walks into my space is just for my highest and best good. And so after that, she had this like little mini stone, or like a, oh my gosh, what are those things called? There's a certain type of pot, and it's like super heavy. I really can't think of it right now, but she had like a mini one of those, and so she put her own little concoctions of herbs in there, and then she lit it up, and then she went around, but similar to what she did with the incense. And as she got to my mirror, she's like, hey, come over here. They're telling me to have you talking to this mirror, which is what I mentioned yesterday on my Instagram post. And yeah, she's like, yeah, just talk to yourself. Tell yourself how awesome and creative and how proud of you for like taking the leap, and how just wonderful you are, and just do that, and it's gonna be really good for you. And yeah, it was weird at first. I was like looking at myself like, what do I say? I don't know what I say. But after a little bit, I just kept smiling and giggling and be like, you're awesome. I should do this more often. And as I was doing that, I looked in the reflection of the mirror, and I saw that her little stone pot thing was like lit up with flames, but then black smoke was coming, which means that there were like lower density energies that were in that area. But she cleared that. And yeah, my apartment was actually really smoky, and I thought the fire alarm was gonna go off, but I opened the window and it didn't go off, so I'm good. So after that, she told me to close my eyes and pick an incense cone. And so I literally closed my eyes, and she would like bring it up to my nose, and I would sniff it. And I picked the third one, and she's like, I know you'd pick that. It's the green one for money. I'm like, oh, good job, me. Because that definitely is one of my intentions, to be successful and wealthy, and yeah. But I forgot to mention, I ended up writing my intention on my board behind me, and because there's just a lot of stuff that I wanted to hold space for. And every time I reset it in my head, it was always different, because my mind's always like all over the place. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna write it down so I don't forget. Writing down is key. I learned that in orchestra class, thanks to Kush. So, oh yeah, in the middle of it all, I don't know where, she was like, hey, do you resonate with Kuan Yin by any chance? And I'm like, oh my God, I have a Kuan Yin deck, and it's a deck that I haven't been resonating with. And I've been meaning to gift it to somebody, but I just haven't. So she's like, pull it out, pull 3 cards. Maybe she has a message for you. And cool, man, that message was so accurate. And I remember the last card, Kim looked at it and she's like, wow, that's the priestess card. I'm like, oh, yep, that's me. That's a long story for another day if you're into that woo-woo stuff. But after all that was pretty much the process. Took like an hour and a half. And then she just stayed and we talked, and she helped me release some things that I just really, 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 really wanted to release. Because in order to make room for new opportunities, you got to release the old. So we spent some time really just sitting down, releasing, hyping each other up, powering each other up. Because it wasn't only just for me. It also benefits her too. And she says she stays for a bit to make sure that all the energy levels out, because it was definitely a lot. I mean, I feel like I am not that sensitive to energy yet. I mean, I am to an extent, but she seems like she's more sensitive than I am. And she's been doing this for like 20 plus years. And so it definitely hit me after she left, because I knocked out at 8 p.m. and I woke up at 6 a.m. And she told me, she's like, oh, since there's just a lot that went on, you're probably going to feel extremely tired. And I'm like, I literally said, how many hours is that? 10 hours. Yeah, it's 10 hours. So I haven't had anyone here since, because just wanted to level out the energy field. But it's great to know that I just feel great. And I know with energy, it's kind of hard to really believe it. For me personally, because it's not something I can see, and I'm a very visual person. So I just know that I got to do the work and have that faith. Yay. I feel like that was a really long time. Oh my gosh, it's going to suck if I didn't hit record, but I swear I hit record. But yeah, I also find it ironic and like a full circle thing when I said last week that I should probably talk to myself in the mirror more, and then Kim gave me that confirmation, start talking in the mirror more. And yeah, I'm just gonna talk to myself in the mirror more. And it's also funny because I know in Sims the whole motivational speaker skill is to talk into the mirror, so that's what I immediately thought of when I told myself to talk in the mirror, because I love Sims. And I just always love Sims because I love creating the reality I wanted. But now this is real. I gotta create my reality here, right here. Yeah. And so I just wanted to share my story. And if you've actually listened to my entire story, thank you for listening. And if you have any other questions, or if you want to get a hold of Kim to have her clean and clear your space, I can give you her info. I'm really trying to push for her to have her internet presence, and I'm going to help her along the way. And I haven't had a chance to talk into the mirror to wrap up my present with a bow in terms of my endings for this video, but it's on my to-do list for this week. If you have any questions about home clearings, home blessings, etc., 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 please let me know. I'd love to answer them. And like I said, at first I did have that stigma of like, oh, blessings and clearings are only done by priests, which is not the case. Energy is, it's just something that I'm drawn to, but I also use my intuition to just not seek out, but attract those people who are passionate about what they do. And it's really cool that Kim is very passionate about homes and buildings and just helping these spaces to help you just live in a high vibration space. And ooh, I got a little chill when I said that. So I will see you next week, and please follow me on social media at rosemary.fajardo on Instagram. And I am working really hard to update my website to have my future events on a calendar, so that because I would love to start hosting events here. And like I said, my studio warming party is coming soon. For sure, I'm just waiting for construction to finish up on my streets so that y'all can park somewhere. And stay tuned for that on my Instagram. That's usually where I post stuff. But I also post stuff on my Facebook too. I think it's /wow. I don't even know my own handle. This is why I need to talk in a mirror. Just look at it in the description below. All right, I'll see you next week. Bye.